NCC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychological black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter. It's Wednesday. I'm back, and I am ready. I'm ready, y'all. What's happening? Come on in, my friends. It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money Club, where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. You know why? Because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. What's up, everybody? Shout out to everybody who already was in here waiting on your girl. I'm a couple of minutes late, but shout out to Miss Lovely JR. What's up, Miss Sophia? Lovely JR out of Seattle. Miss Sophia out of Stockton, California. What's up, Tamara from South Carolina? Karen from the boogie down. Clock it. Listen, my daughter never told me how to do it. You go, he's like this. Clock it. What's up, James Higg? Jersey, hip hop, my fight. Well, the home of hip hop, my fight. I don't even know what that means, brother, but it means something. So listen, we come live every single day, and we're a family. And this is a dialogue and not a monologue. And so I love for you to talk back to me and talk black to me, because this is what the Grow Your Money Club is all about. It's all about engagement and interaction. And I thrive on the interaction, good, bad, whether we agree or disagree. I thrive on the engagement and interaction that I have with you all. So if you're new here, let me know. You new here, and if this is your first time watching, that's awesome. Put in the chat where you're watching from, because I like to shout you out and acknowledge you. If you're not, hey, that's cool too. Also, I love to give a shout out to Black-owned businesses. I don't know if y'all hear that. I got some people working in the house. Shout out to Black-owned businesses, because we always want to support you. It's so important, especially in this climate in America and for the rest of our years here in this country. It's important that we practice collective economics. Why? Because the only way that we're going to be able to close the wealth gap and do business and create sustainable businesses is if we work with each other. Everybody else looks out for their own communities. And so we need to be B1, Black first, and look out for ours as well. It's important, because if not, we will be lost in the sauce. And that study that was done in 2017, that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a zero, is going to happen. But y'all, what do I always say, y'all? They done fucked around and gave us the what? They done fucked around and gave us the internet. They done messed around and gave us AI. So we have an advantage. Yeah, I got baby oil all over me. I'm all shining and look at, I'm just shining and greasy. Every time my kids come in my room, because I use baby oil, they come in there, they go, Mom, why do you have baby oil? I'm like, boy, I've been using baby oil before Diddy. Everybody thinks it's something bad to have baby oil now. Anyway, I'm all shining like I'm been greased up by some chicken. In any case, but it's important that we do business with each other. So we have to make that a priority and be intentional about doing business with each other. Okay. So she in Philly said, we're going to sit this one out. Is that what we doing, Philly? Is that what we doing, she? Evelyn, what we doing from Baltimore? What we doing? We sit this one out, or should we fight with our Latino brothers and sisters? What are we doing? I want to give a shout out to Dee from Las Vegas. She's new here. Thank you for watching. Well, if you Blacks pay taxes, yes, it is. Who do you think is picking up the check for these illegal aliens? Pero Joe Biden invited here. Okay. The Los Angeles riots are psyops. They want you to accept Palantir. Okay. All right. What else y'all talking about? Close the wealth gap. Try having two-parent households. Actually give a shit about school. Respect rules and laws, and try to stop killing each other for 5 minutes. Oh, how about rap glorifying that? Oh, we got one of these people in here. Welcome. I love it. So Black people do have two-parent households. So I don't care what you heard or what you thought, but we do. We do give a shit about school. I actually live in Prince George's County, where there are a ton of people that are in school. They're highly educated. They're highly paid. So what you see on TV, the propaganda that you see on the news, is not true. Okay. So and rap, actually, who controls rap music? Not Black people. It's actually Jewish people. It's actually your people who are actually the folks who are in control. But listen, y'all stick around so you can learn something. I hope you learned something today. I love it. Come on in. as someone who thankfully is not American, why do you guys constantly talk about race? It's so played out and honestly embarrassing. Well, you know what? I'm going to bring my good girlfriend and little sister up in here so that we can talk. You guys haven't seen her on the show yet, but I'm so glad that you asked that question. And this girl, this woman, this lady is one of the most dynamic and prolific speakers and thought leaders that I know personally. Her name is Miss. I don't know if you know her. If you don't know her, if you haven't followed her, you need to follow her because she says some of the most profound things, whether I agree with her or not, because we have gotten into some debates on panels and everything else, and it's all fun and it's all good and it's all love. But this is my girl, Madam Prez, with the Z. What's up, Madam Prez? I can't hear you, sis. You muted.
I said, good morning. What's up? What's up, my girl, Constance Carter? I love you so much, y'all. This woman is the truth. This is my big sister. I love her. I want to be like her when I grow up. And I definitely in her bank account, like this weekend. She is the one, you know, she's the one. She's not just the one who talks about it. She backs it up. Like when you say 2-parent household, yeah, her kids, her children, they were born into 2-parent households. When you talk about wealth building, she's the one. She's the builder of homes all over California and beyond. She is the truth. Now the baby oil, I'm like the kids. Now what Diddy and ruin baby oil for everybody.
I'm over here shining like new money up in this piece, sis.
Diddy and ruin baby oil for everybody. Nobody can look at baby oil the same.
I want you to answer this question for Mark Lobliner.
Mark, thank you so much. That's a great question. I think that you got to start with the root of America. America rooted its principles and its values on race. It came and berated a country that didn't belong to them, stole it from Native Americans. Then it came and enslaved African-American people. And behind the enslavement of African-American people, it continuously to have an agenda toward Black and brown people opposite of white. Therefore, you have to ask white America, why is it that they created redlining, zoning? Why is it they created Jim Crow? Why did they do that? Black folks didn't create that. The Latino group didn't create that. The Native Americans didn't create this reality. So, you know, people say, well, why are you talking about race all the time? America is built on race. Her wealth comes from race. Everything in this country is factored by race.
Right. And it's easy to sit from a place of privilege and not have empathy or not understand what other people have to go through. Like someone DM'd me the other day, because I do posts, but my posts literally, Madam Press, I talk about Black excellence. White people hate that shit. When I talk about Black history, they hate it. It's like when you threw, remember on, I think it was The Wizard of Oz, when they threw water on the Wicked Witch of the West and she was melting. It's like Black unity is like that water that they threw on the wicked rich of the rest for these racist white people. They hate that shit. So, I've been getting DMs from people calling me N-words, all kinds of, I get the DMs, y'all. I can let y'all see them. I get DMs. And listen, I'm not afraid of nobody. I get phone calls. Oh, they mad because I talk about Black wealth, I talk about Black excellence, and I talk about Black history. They mad. Ain't nobody bother them. And I'm telling the truth about what Black history is. So one guy, he said something on my post and everybody went in on him. They was blah, blah. And so he DMs me and I said to him, why don't you try looking at my other videos, right? Why don't you try looking at my other videos and so you can understand. And then he DM'd me and he said, you know what, I apologize. He said, I'm sorry. He said, I can't stand, I haven't walked in your shoes. I don't understand, but I still think we should be colorblind. And I said, it's easy for you to come from a place of privilege and not have to deal with color for you to think that we should be colorblind. I can't get up every day and not think about being a Black woman. When you say it's played out, sir, it's not played out for us because we have to face being Black every single day. You don't have to think about being Black. You don't have to deal with being Black. And so that's the thing that when y'all say, well, why y'all always talking about race? Why this country was built around racism. We have to deal with this shit every single day. So don't come over here talking about what we should be doing when every time we've taken 2 steps forward, you push us 10 steps backwards. When we built wealth, we built cities, we built communities. Y'all could not stand it. And what did they come to do? They bombed our, they burned it down. They hated on us.
Mm-hmm.
They all of a sudden now we have these wealthy neighborhoods. All of a sudden now we have urban renewal. Now we got to come put freeways through. We're gonna go around all these other places, but we're gonna put freeways through these wealthy communities. We're gonna put them underwater. We're gonna redline. We're gonna take the money out of the communities. We're gonna take the stores out of the communities. We're gonna take the local economies out of the communities. So
food deserts in the communities. What community you know where you can't get a healthy meal within a mile of a neighborhood? That's intentional. You all talk about, you know, black this and black that, but let me just tell you, like the white woman said, I can't remember her name, Jane, you don't want to trade places with black folks in America. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it if somebody paid you.
Absolutely.
Be consistently ignored. But let me just say something to you, Mark. I can guarantee you, no matter how many black folks that does have a reality of food deserts and redlining and red zoning, there are a lot of black people that have overcome and are uber successful in an America that did not intend for them to be. So don't get it twisted. Just because people like to keep the fight alive, don't think that there aren't a lot of black people that have thrived. Black people are a part of every demographic you can think of. Black doctors, black engineers, black construction companies, black media. We may not own it on a grand scale, but we are a part of everything. There is no America without black input, black collaboration, black excellence, a part of it.
Mm-hmm. So when you have a 400-year head start, it's easy for you to say, y'all need to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. And then when we do, then you do things to destroy. You know, if you ever heard of Wilmington, North Carolina, the only coup d'etat that happened in America happened in this all black town when black folks were thriving, black people are in government. And so what did they do? They got mad, they bombed it, they killed the people, and they replaced the local government with white people. This is what your people have done. Then you can want to come to us and say, y'all need to stop talking about race. Fuck out of here.
Why did they say that? Because I've never heard anyone tell a Jewish man, you need to stop discussing the Holocaust. The Holocaust is very dear to them. It's dear to their experience. They're not told to shut up about it. They're not told that this is an unimportant event. Not only did they take the event and create mastermind group economics behind it, nobody ever tries to disrespect their experience. No one. You can't find a rapper that's willing to disrespect Anne Frank. You can't find a movie executive that's willing to make the Jewish some kind of satire. You know, it just doesn't happen. But every time it's black, you all won't agree or they won't say it, but you have a problem with black people. You have a problem when you have a problem with black people experience, how black people remember their experience. And people don't want to be honest about it, but they have a problem. They say, I don't see color, as if you can't see how dark I am, how tall I am. You can see color. You don't want to deal with it. And guess what? I saw a white woman. She was a nurse. She was responsible for breaking the bones of babies. She was responsible for breaking the bones of babies, a white woman. And this was in Virginia. So they found out that she had been breaking the bones of babies for about 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
It's a report. These people left these babies with this nurse, and then the bones end up broken. The hospital was liable for this. So this is how the research came about. Like, oh snap, we leaving this person with these babies. She must be harming the babies. Well, come to find out, she's breaking the bones of the babies, black babies as well. And white, I will say that. It wasn't just white, but black babies, white, everybody. She got a problem. So I said to myself, the interesting thing is, if you put my image next to hers, her image, white woman, my image, black woman, I guarantee you they will say I'm the one who's breaking babies' bones. A baby is in good hands with me. You know, unlike her, who's a registered nurse.
Right.
It's like it goes to show you. But Constance, to your point about this, where it's happening with ICE and it being our fight, America has embedded consistently for centuries a distaste for Black and brown people.
Mm-hmm.
It's psychological. People don't even know how they have little tolerance for people outside of their race, because some people just don't have a lot of interactive experience with other races,
Right.
especially white folks. If you're a middle-class white person, you probably live in a middle-class white person community, you know? So you don't have a lot of day-to-day experience, even with Latino groups or with Black groups. So people don't even know how racist they are.
There is a thing called unconscious bias, where you see people, especially in positions of power, where they are doing things that they don't even know about. So you have some people who are racist, and then some people who are unconsciously biased towards their people or against other people. But it's so funny because the comments, I love when they come on here and they try to tell us who we are and what we need to stop doing, and we need to stop talking about race and all the things, because they don't understand. They would not want to walk a mile in our shoes. It's like the history. You got to understand, my parents could not drink at a water fountain. This is not that long ago. You know what I'm saying? When my sister was born, Jim Crow was still alive. My sister's just 5 years older than me. You understand what I'm saying? My grandmother could not vote. So all of the things that these people are saying, like, oh, that was 400 years ago, that was 200 years ago, and you can't compare that to the Jew. We have been in a Holocaust. Black folks are being killed. There is a genocide going on. And what's happened, sir, is white folks have put drugs in our community, and then they criminalize Black people, and they murder Black people. And then they say, oh, you guys are animals. You guys are killing yourselves. What about Black on Black crime? They do all that stuff. But I don't even want to talk about that no more, because I'm not going to debate with these motherfuckers up in the comments anymore, talking silly ass shit. Anyway, I do want to poll the audience though, Madam Prez, because some people, I think most of the people are saying that we should sit this one out. They're saying they don't support Black businesses and have very little tolerance for other cultures. They don't like us probably sitting this one out. Yeah. My parents are not 90 years old. Do you know when I'm about to kick you out. You're done. I can't do it. I cannot. Okay, so he's gone, because I'm not going to debate with somebody that's into this shit. But de facto independence remains a true solution for us finally rid ourselves of white sovereignty and independence. So a lot of people, I think, in the comments really are saying we should sit this one out. And I do. Let me show a video of it's really sad. It's really sad. Where's the one? Maybe I don't have that one up here yet. But I don't know. Did you, Madam Prez? I don't have that one. But did you see when ICE came to the schools? And that was really sad. And the brother was crying. Oh, here it is right here. Let me see. That was really sad. And I was definitely empathetic. And if you can't be empathetic towards this and what's going on with, how they're handling it, that's a problem. Whatever you think, hold on, it's coming up right now.
Well, it makes me think about, Dr. King says injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So when we think about that, the Latino community should have joined us many years ago. The Latino community should have joined us on mass incarceration. They should have joined us on, Jim Crow. Anything that is injustice to Black people, they should have been on our side. The reason being,
let's watch this real quick.
I can't handle this, y'all. This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor's school, y'all know I work at a school. Fuck. Our neighboring school, I think it's Grat Gratas. I don't know how to say it. It's Grat Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky. Most of these schools are... Fuck, yo. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And
so ICE comes to the graduation. This brother's crying. He's very empathetic. I've seen some comments where people were mad that the brother was empathetic, and saying things like, we need to sit this one out. This ain't our fight. What do you think about that? And you were saying injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere.
Yeah. So the thing is, this is the issue that I believe that keeps happening in our country is when something bad is happening, you think that it doesn't come to your doorstep. You think that it's not your business, but it's going to be your business too one day. That's the point. This is why we're here. So many people thought they can sit on the sidelines of injustice and then it's at your doorstep. It's your issue all of a sudden. You're a teacher and it's you minding your business and all of a sudden your school is being raided. That's because people got to stop being lukewarm. The America has been wrong. She has not been in a space of morality. So it's not going to get better behind her behavior. If she did it to one, she'll do it to another. And I just want to, Black folks, I can't believe that we have the stance of it's coming to us. It's always going to come right back to we are one of the biggest groups that have all the financial, but the power. I'm talking about power. We cannot be lukewarm on all these different situations where we're in the middle. Oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It matters. And it should have been mattering to them, our issues as well. So a part of me just feels like it doesn't matter what your position is. My position is I'm never going to be on the side of lack of righteousness. I'm always going to be on the side of righteousness. That's just number one. Number two, the Latino community, what's happening to them, sometimes the Latino community like to align with whiteness. Oftentimes when they come into America, they have been taught that don't trust Black people. Black people are going to rob you, steal from you, all these other negative things. But then Black people are welcoming and warm. Black people are the one who will hire you and say, hey, you do landscaping. I'm open. Come do landscaping here. So to the people that says it's not our fight, don't matter when you decide to jump in on the fight. You don't have to be on the front line. But I feel like this. My best friend used to say this when he was in college. She said, you ain't got to respect me, but you ain't got to disrespect me. So when it comes to this particular situation, you ain't got to be on the front line, but you got to know that, what's right is right. Righteous is righteous. No in between with it.
But that's the thing. They are saying, a lot of Hispanics are saying, why aren't you helping us, Black people? Why aren't you out here with us? Why are we out here alone? Why are we on the front lines? And it's funny because somebody said, they said he wasn't, why is he crying? Did he cry like this when the Mexicans were targeting Blacks in LA? Why a grown man crying about illegal immigration? Came here legally, stop lying. That doesn't affect us. Period. This is what Black folks are saying. All of us.
This is what I'm talking about the conscious Black community.
They said, wait. They said you're an immigrant.
The conscious Black community.
An immigrant all the way from Chicago.
An immigrant from Chicago. Let me just tell you how Black I am. I'm so Black American. My daddy was killed when I was in 5th grade. I'm so Black American. My mama had me as a teenager. I'm so Black American. I'm a first generation college graduate. I'm so Black American. I'm a first generation homeowner. Baby, I am Black American, okay? Every time I made a wrong turn, the police pulled me over. Trust and believe that. I'm so Black American. Don't ever try to play these, oh, you not Black game with me. I'm a Black woman. But here's what I want to tell you, a lot of you all who are the conscious Black community. The conscious Black community, I notice you don't have any conscious schools. You don't have any conscious currency. You don't have any conscious language. all you do is talk about this and talk about that. But the reality is compassion is a part of the godliness realm. People can be compassionate. I'm never going to be looking at a brother talking about, oh, you don't have a right to be compassionate. We need compassion. If some of the politicians had a mind to and do this properly, this wouldn't be so disruptive. There's no way that this should be this disruptive. It's too disruptive to a society to have people coming into graduations, coming into schools, this is not a healthy way of managing a society. You mean a society that's already, now hold on. They was using the Black woman as the face of everything. They say the Black woman, you know, she's her. She's voting, all of that. She's going to be the next president. The Black woman is, the Black woman that. And then there was 106,000 Black women unemployed.
Last month.
I mean, I'm just saying, y'all, they keep on playing these games. That's the thing. If you're on the side of righteousness, you don't have to keep going through this stuff.
So let me ask you, because what a lot of people are saying is that they're not looking out for us. They aren't concerned about us. They are not fighting for us. And when you look at the statistics, look, 42 to 46% of the Latino vote nationally, highest ever, surpassing George W. Bush. More Latinos voted for Donald Trump than voted for George W. Bush ever. He had the highest Hispanic vote ever. And then if you go back and look at this video, where these Latinos, they were on it.
I'm Hispanic and I vote for Mr. Trump. We vote for Mr. Trump. Yes, Mr. Trump. We love you. We love you all the way to the White House.
Beyond betrayed. They used us. They actually, during the campaign, and I don't want to make this political, but during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party, they actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
What do you say about that? Because here's the thing I have a problem with, Madam Perez, is these Hispanics, they assimilate with white people. They assimilate with white. Just like you said, when they come over here, they're told not to associate with us, not to affiliate with us. In their own culture, they are told to whiten out their family. They're told to marry lighter, to disassociate yourself with Black people. All these things, they have this anti-Black ideology, and then they go and vote because they don't want a Black woman. And I don't care what you FBA say, Kamala Harris was a Black woman. And so they don't want this Black woman to be the president. So now they're going to vote for this white man because they think that he's in their best interest. But everything that she said that he was going to do, he's doing.
Correct.
He did everything he said he was going to do.
Well, the funny thing is, going online saying "I love you, Mr. Trump" is crazy work. The one thing
I will vote for Donald Trump.
Oh my God, that's crazy. That's just number one. That's crazy work. I will never. You could never. This is another thing that I learned, and I think Minister Farrakhan teaches this very well. Is you have to get what your needs are. You got to go in there with your focus and what you want to happen, but don't go in there idolizing nobody on either side. I don't care what your political belief system is. There should be no form of idolizing, and you should be going there with your demands, not kissing the ring. That's just number one. They voted for Trump because they believed the great white hype. They believed in what this man was saying to them, not having a sense of understanding that this is politics. Let me tell you, Obama had passed reparations for the Jewish community, for Jewish elders. So if you were over like 65 years old and you didn't reach a certain income, the Obama administration had gave Jews reparations for seniors who didn't reach a certain income, right? But when the Black people at the church got killed, Obama came in and started singing Amazing Grace. It wasn't reparations. It wasn't let me help you with this. It was Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. But the Jewish community, got money. They got something tangible that if you didn't reach a certain income that you can have access to. And it really almost made me think, well, what about the Black seniors? When you reach a certain age, your income diminishes. So you mean to tell me we can't be considered? Our grandparents and great-grandparents couldn't be considered, but the Obama administration ensured that the Jewish elders could be considered. So this is what happens to us even as a community, is we literally put our own desires and needs on the back burner and leveraging the Latino community. We put their needs, we standing side by side with them. This is when Joe Biden was in office. Oh, you got to do this, you got to put their needs to the side, but you forgetting about your grandmama. They passed their grandmama good. Your grandmama not. So my thing is, go ahead. But
I was gonna say that's the problem though, is that everybody else has hijacked civil rights. And so what it's done for us is it's watered down our rights that we fought for, that our grandparents fought for, that our ancestors fought for. Now we can't even have civil rights because everybody else partakes in it, and then they shit on us. And that's, I think, a problem that a lot of people in the audience, in the comments have is, look we out here on the front lines, and don't nobody care about when we getting beat up by the police. They Look, when you talk about people voting against their own best interest, this stupid ass bitch.
The last election, who did you vote for?
I feel embarrassed to tell you, but before all the years back, since I got my citizenship, I said I was a Democrat, but then, in these last elections, I voted as a Republican. Why? Because I'm against abortion.
She is against abortion. Now all her family members, everybody that she owns a restaurant, everybody that worked for her, now her business is failing. Now her business is gone because everybody then got deported. Her cousins, her auntie them, her uncles, because she don't believe in abortions. No, she did it because her assimilation to whiteness. And so what white people are doing essentially, y'all, is they are afraid of the browning of America. They know that their birth rates are low. Margaret Sanger did a number. Margaret Sanger, who started the Planned Parenthood, she was doing that. The reason why she started Planned Parenthood was simply for eugenics, to weed out Black folks. That's why you see all Planned Parenthoods put into, Black and, minority communities, because they want to kill Black babies. They don't want us to reproduce. But what's been happening is we've been producing, and the white births are down significantly, and they know that in the next 20, 30 years, they are going to be the minority. That's why they're trying to move the Hispanics out, because they're number 2 now. Remember, Dr. Claude Anderson said that in a few years, I think he said back in the early 2000s, by the year 2015, we're going to be a permanent underclass, because all of these other minorities are coming in, and it's the lighter you are to white, the more privileges that you have. And so what these Hispanics want to do is they want to assimilate to whiteness. They want to get the privilege of that being what the access to whiteness has to offer. And what they didn't realize is they were voting against their own. Because what they're going to do, because Brazil in the early 1900s, they imported millions of Europeans because Brazil was majority Black. And so in the early 1900s, late 1800s, they imported millions of white people from Europe because they wanted to whiten Brazil. It was called the whitening of Brazil. Same thing Donald Trump is trying to do with America, because they know that pretty soon they're going to be the minority. And so Hispanics, even though they want to be white, they not. And so they're just using them as voter pawns to get into office so that they can keep their power. So they're going to have to figure out a way to keep America more white.
Well, I also think that the Democratic Party really ruined. They did this. They brought these people here and lost an election. They gave these people a complete false hope. They was bringing them here by the busloads, trying to figure out where to place them. I believe that they was going to try to use a lot of the Latino community to basically the immigrants and the migrants. I think they were going to try to get them to vote. It just didn't happen fast enough, because there's no way to get millions of folks here in months' time and have absolutely no plan for them. This is a failure. This was a horrible idea. And if somebody was back there with some sense, they would have told them, this is a bad idea.
Remember what happened in your hometown of Chicago, where they brought all them damn...
And let me just tell you, I went home over the weekend and I went to my friend's 40th birthday party. And the funny thing is, somebody, follow Madam President. If you're not following Madam President, you're missing out on life. But Madam President is one Madam President, always with a Z, on all platforms. But basically, he says to me, you don't understand what's happening in Chicago. He says, you have migrants who've been dropped off into Black neighborhoods prostituting. He said, and they are treating a $5 bill like it's $50. Damn. He says, if you give them $5, they are doing. Now look here, y'all. I'm
good time.
It's like, get down how you live. I'm assuming, but he said that $5. I mean, all the labor you can think of is happening $5, $10. Okay, so my thing is, the Democratic Party failed these people. There was no reason. You should have came here, planned for these people to come here and not have a real plan for them. You gave them tons of money, loaded on a car, got them living in hotels. There's a language barrier. Why would you do this? This is crazy.
You know why?
I will vote for Donald Trump.
Yes, this is what would you, and then, like, Constance, it don't make sense. I would have been like, now look here. I would have been like, no, but I'm always gonna be like this when it comes to Black folks in general, and when it comes to our people, I'm always gonna go back to, baby, let me just tell you, we the ones here came off the ships. We the ones that came.
They said you didn't, Madam Press. They said you ain't from here.
Well, send me back where I'm from. Cash out me, send me back in the words of Dr. Umar Johnson, send me $20 and I go back to where I came from. Send me $20, sister. Revolution before anything else, okay? It's so funny. I've never been told that I'm not Black enough.
Yeah, right. You're a tether. I learned what a tether is.
Her family is not from here. Where is her family from?
Chicago. Shit. What? I just got to tell you. She was raised by her grandmama. She was raised by her mama.
I have given them a Black ass story. Look, why isn't it enough? Madam President, Blackity Black.
They all you, Madam Press. Listen, Madam Press actually comes live every single day on the Fly Nubian Queen YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific every single day. So she comes on, and then it's Dr. Boyce, and then it's me. But she's right before. So y'all got to get up early in the morning if you're on the West Coast, or if you're on the East Coast, 9 a.m. You got to listen to Madam Press, because she always has some prolific and profound things to say. They said you second generation. We said you were. Wow, like what?
Let me tell you something.
What about me? What about me? Am I FBA? Wait. Am I FBA? Tell me. Am I FBA? Tell me. Please. Woo. Am I? My folks is from Africa. I'll tell you that. My ancestors, because I know a lot of you people that y'all think that, Black people don't originate from Africa and all that stuff. I'm gonna tell you right now, mine came from Africa. So just so you know. Oh, I'm from here, or am I? Did they say yes? I'm FBA, or
come on.
I'm probably mixed. No, mixed with Black and Negro. That's what I am. My mama Black, my daddy Black, my grandparents, my great grandparents, all of them. So, of course, we got some, slave master in us, but that wasn't by choice. That was by force. But that doesn't count. We don't even count that shit. But Madam Perez is too. I mean, she got that slave master up in her too. If your great granny from here, you FBA, okay. It's whatever. That's cool.
My grandmama is from Mississippi. What's wrong with y'all? Like what? Hold on though. On both sides, my grandmama on my mama's side and my daddy's side, both from Mississippi. Crazy, y'all.
You're Haitian.
Haitian. fucking woman. Crazy as hell.
We are, but it doesn't even matter because we Black. Listen, we all came from the same place. We got dropped off. In fact, we may even be cousins to our Haitian sisters and brothers, are the ones that are in Puerto Rico. We might have the same great grandparents. We just got dropped off in different places. What makes us less Black? What makes us less Black? Just because we were shipped to different places, which is crazy, and that's also the other divisive part, right? Because J. Edgar Hoover said the biggest threat to America, he said it, is Negro unity. And so if we keep each other divided by not only by class, by race, by whether we're from this country, by diaspora, what part of the diaspora you're from, by light skin, that's what we do. So we shouldn't even be buying into that shit. So the fact that because you think she's not FBA when she's clearly FBA, but because you don't think she's a foundational Black American, so her opinion, her point of view doesn't matter, is crazy because she's still Black and she still has a Black experience. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyway, let's look at this video right here because I think it's interesting because the GOP has definitely changed. Because when you hear Trump talking, he talks about separation and dividing and division and the criminals. But the GOP was actually a lot different prior to this. Where is it? Oh, I don't have it. Well, let's look at this. Because when we talk about Hispanics and the anti-Black rhetoric that we hear a lot,
you go to cover, nigga. I'm fake, nigga. I know you do, dog. I'll spit on your plate. I'll put my dick on your plate, nigga. Fuck your family. Fuck your kids, nigga. That's all it is. I can't sleep comfortably because of you.
He be fucking getting a whole fucking plate. He be fucking expecting us to give us a whole fucking shit. That nigga right there.
Do you go to cover?
Yeah, you do, nigga. Stop playing. Yeah, you do. Nigga, act like I don't know your fucking face. Stop fucking playing. Fucking talking about, can I get a fucking discount? Can I get a fucking this? Can I get a fucking that? That nigga right there. Point that shit at him right there. Point that shit at there right there.
He doesn't look like he go to cover though.
Hell no.
He ain't going to that cover.
What's your favorite thing to order at cover?
Everything.
The reason why I wanted to show that is because this is indicative of how these young people talk right now. They all call it, they're very, very disrespectful. And in fact, my daughter often, because I'm from San Jose, California. My kids were raised in Stockton, California. There's, majority of the kids that they were around was Mexican. And those her best friend, their father, they listen to our music. They listen to rap music. They love old school music, but they hate Black people. Mm-hmm. Her best friend was dating a Black boy, had to hide it from her dad. He put her on punishment, beat her because she was messing with somebody Black. This is how they are. This is how a lot of them are raised in this generation. Their parents, it's a lot of anti-Black in some of the Hispanic community. I'm not saying in all the Hispanic community, but there is a lot and they use the N-word a lot. In fact, that same best friend, her brother, who's a little bit older, called my daughter an N-word with a hard ER. So there's a lot of racism in the Hispanic. A lot of them don't like us. A lot of them don't like us.
Well, you know what? That's crazy as hell. That video is crazy. I hadn't seen that. That's just number one. So let's just say, for instance, that's the mindset of 80% of the Latino group. Then no, you can't join that. Ain't no way possible you can stand side by side with that. One of my closest friends in Chicago, her daughter is mixed. Her father is Mexican. My best friend is Black. And she said that her daughter went to school. And so now, mind you, her daughter is like in 3rd grade. Someone called this kid an N-word in 3rd grade. What?
They're learning it
in 3rd grade? What the hell?
They learned it at home.
To show you, this embedded. But this is the thing. Everybody made Black folks the problem. We ain't your problem.
We're not your problem. But see, it
was not a problem.
It's the anti-Black rhetoric that they learned from white society. And everybody wants to assimilate to how they think their life would be better. Right? Because if you associate yourself with Black, that's just like, you you having a worse life. But why would I want to associate myself with the folks who have the worst life? I want to be with the white folks. And if the white people are saying stay away from them, they're bad, they ain't shit, they're not this, they're not that, they're going to associate themselves with the people that have the privilege. And that's pretty much what it is. And it's unfortunate. But, you know, at the end of the day, justice is justice, right? The way that everything is happening is wrong. You know, you can't go get, you know, a seamstress that's working in a factory. You said you're going to get the illegals that were committing crimes. Some people are just here just to have a good life. And so when you have all that divisiveness and that rhetoric that Trump spews, then it trickles down to everybody else. And that's what causes, that keeps up the division. But the GOP was very different in the 80s, very different. They were not like MAGA GOPs. Check this out.
My name is David Grossberg, and I'd like to know, do you think the children of illegal aliens should be allowed to attend Texas public schools free, or do you think that their parents should pay for their education?
Who are you addressing that to?
I think you're first in this.
He was looking right at you. I said he was. Look, I'd like to see something done about the illegal alien problem that would be so sensitive and so understanding about labor needs and human needs that problem wouldn't come up. But today, if those people are here, I would reluctantly say I think they would get whatever it is that they're, you know, what the society is giving to their neighbors. But the problem has to be solved. The problem has to be solved because as we have kind of made illegal some kinds of labor that I'd like to see legal, we're doing two things. We're creating a whole society of really honorable, decent, family-loving people that are in violation of the law, and secondly, we're exacerbating relations with Mexico. The answer to your question is much more fundamental than whether they attend Houston schools, it seems to me. I don't want to see if they're living here, I don't want to see a whole thing of 6- and 8-year-old kids being made, you know, one totally uneducated and made to feel that they're living with outside the law. Let's address ourselves to the fundamentals. These are good people, strong people. Part of my family is a Mexican.
Can I add to that? I think the time has come that the United States and our neighbors, particularly our neighbor to the south, should have a better understanding and a better relationship than we've ever had. And I think that we haven't been sensitive enough to our size and our power. They have a problem of 40 to 50% unemployment. Now, this cannot continue without the possibility arising with regard to that other country that we talked about, of Cuba and what it is stirring up, of the possibility of trouble below the border, and we could have a very hostile and strange neighbor on our border. Rather than making them or talking about putting up a fence, why don't we work out some recognition of our mutual problems, make it possible for them to come here legally with a work permit, and then while they're working and earning here, they pay taxes here. And when they want to go back, they can go back, and they can cross and open the border both ways by understanding their problems. This is the only safety valve right now they have with that unemployment that probably keeps the lid from blowing off down there. And I think we could have a fine relationship, and it would solve the problem you mentioned also.
So very, very different rhetoric, very different talking points. It's just when there was humanity. You know, even though me personally, I'm not getting on the front lines with you. There's too much that we need to do inside of our own community. We got fight, we got work to do over here. But it doesn't mean that we have to be inhumane. I ain't going on the front lines, but kids shouldn't be pulled out of school. You know, people shouldn't be shot with rubber bullets in their head. All the National Guard should not have been sent to LA. You know, it's just causing more havoc than is necessary. It's ridiculous. So although I'm not going to stand with them, I'm not going to fight for them, I'm not, because we got our own issues, it's still not right. There's a way to go about it.
Absolutely. And all those men on that stage were liars anyway.
Well, they all are. Shit, all of them.
Exactly. They was just straight up lying as best as they know how. You know, did you ever watch the documentary 13 by Ava DuVernay? I can't get the call out of my head where the political strategist is talking to some presidential candidate, and he's telling him that we can figure out whatever we decide to do, we can figure out how to make sure Black people get it the worst. He literally said that on audio. It was caught. He says, we can figure out whatever you want to. This was just talking about from political, from laws to money. He said, whatever we can figure out how to make sure that Black people, the other people, get it the worst. I mean, and that's what's been happening in this country. No matter what happens, we still get it the worst. Even in all of this that's currently happening, 106,000 Black women lost their jobs. That was just reported. Even all of what's happening, you know, we're still handling the mass incarceration. We still the most incarcerated behind all the stuff that's happening in this country. So I don't believe these politicians in any capacity. And I don't like being lukewarm, but here's what I will say. I consistently believe that they are always lying. That's something that I say for a fact. I consistently believe that they are always lying, which means that, you know, our agenda, our issues from a cultural standpoint, like you say, we got a lot of work, and it's not going to come from a legal standpoint. It's going to come from a cultural behavior. While they in the comments fighting who's FBA, you know, no, just get rid of the baby mama construct, get rid of the drugs in the community, you know, get rid of the corner boys, all of that nonsense that cannot thrive in a community that has everything outside of the door after them. If you got a son that every time he step outside, he has social issues to battle, why in the hell would you bring all the issues inside the house? If he got to go outside and fight it, why would you bring it inside the house? So that's my thing. We have to fix inside the house. The politicians ain't going to fix what's going on inside the house. That part. They don't give a damn if you FBA from Haiti, second generation, my ass. Ain't nobody going to fix what's going on inside the house. That's a personal thing.
Right.
So that's what I believe that has to happen in our community in order to completely transform.
And one of the things that you said in the beginning is injustice anywhere. Injustice, what's the saying? Injustice anywhere is justice everywhere. And so what's done to other people, you can't sit back, you can't laugh at them, because the same thing that they are doing to them, they are digging a grave for your Black ass. So the best thing to do, like Madam Press says, is to get your house in order, is to work together, is to practice collective economics. I don't care what they've done to us. I don't care that they are not on the front lines with us. Who cares? We don't need nobody but us. Because look at even the people that are in politics.
That manager told the bartender to remove her third beer. The bartender says Acosta became verbally abusive when he did that, saying to her friend that this is why she, quote, hated Black people and, quote, hated representing them. The bartender then told Acosta and her friend they were causing a scene and would have to leave. He told city investigators she then said he would, quote, never be more than a black piece of expletive bartender. The bartender repeatedly asked Acosta to leave, and she then said, quote, I hate Black people, I really do. Black people are the lowlifes of society, and it's for that reason she doesn't have to listen to a black piece of expletive like me. The bartender says Acosta continued shouting and cussing as the manager escorted her off the patio. He said he didn't hear racial slurs, but heard Acosta loudly say, quote, she hated Black people. Another server told the city she heard that comment and also heard Acosta say, quote, the KKK will be calling on you.
This is a this is a Hispanic civil rights investigator. She investigates civil rights.
Crazy as hell.
These are the same people, these same kind of people who are teaching your children in school. Same type of people who are in law enforcement. These are the same type of people who are in city council. Watch this.
LA City Council President Nury Martinez resigning after a leaked audio recording, first reported by the LA Times and obtained by our affiliate KNBC, captured Martinez and council member Kevin De Leon making racist and disparaging remarks in 2021. The attacks targeted fellow council member Mike Bonin and his young son, who is black. The comments, which were spoken behind closed doors in 2021, referred to an MLK parade in which Bonin participated in with his son.
It's like the oddest thing. It's like black and brown on this float. And then there's this white guy with this little black kid who's misbehaved. The kid is bouncing off the effing walls on the float, practically tipping it over.
Martinez is also heard describing the child as a little monkey in Spanish.
They're raising him like a little white kid, which I was like, this kid needs a beat down. Like, let me take him around the corner and then I'll bring him back.
The source of the recording is unknown, and NBC News hasn't determined whether it's been edited, but the LA Times reported that during the conversation, De Leon also appeared to compare Bonin's handling of his son to Martinez carrying a Louis Vuitton handbag. Councilmember Bonin releasing a statement saying in part, "We are appalled, angry, and absolutely disgusted that Nury Martinez attacked our son with horrific racist slurs and talked about her desire to physically harm him." The conversation reportedly taking place during a meeting that also included Councilmember Gil Cedillo and Ron Herrera, president of the LA County Federation of Labor. The group was discussing the redrawing of council district boundaries. Cedillo and Herrera are not heard on tape making any racist remarks. In a statement, Cedillo apologized and said he should have intervened when racist remarks were uttered, while Herrera said in a statement that there was no excuse for the remarks and his inaction. Martinez and De Leon both issuing apologies over the weekend, with Martinez stating, "In a moment of intense frustration and anger, I let the situation get the best of me, and I hold myself accountable for these comments. For that, I am sorry." De Leon, for his part, said, "There were comments made in the context of this meeting that are wholly inappropriate, and I regret appearing to condone and even contribute to certain insensitive comments made about a colleague and his family in private. I've reached out to that colleague personally."
Yo, you see that?
I see that.
People who are in leadership. These are people, and it's not just Hispanics. Trust me, it's not just Hispanics saying that. But there has just been this long-standing tension, especially on the West Coast. And I know you're in Atlanta. You're from by way of Chicago, so you probably haven't experienced that. But there is this long-standing issue. We should always support what's right. Mm-hmm. That's all. But we should always be one as Black folks. Stay on code. Do for us first. Just like you said, we got to get our house in order.
Completely. And learn what code is. The nonsense can't take over, okay? That's just first and foremost. We can't have this addiction to nonsense all the time and then think that. I never forget when I was in college, I had a professor tell me, you can't have your hand in the garbage and one hand in the garbage and one hand reaching the sky. You never get where you're going. You have to have both hands in an upward position to receive acceleration. So that means that one hand hitting the ground and one hand up here. So yeah, that's true. So all that to say that I'm with you on that. And everything is still coming back to our doorstep, no matter what. I think I saw somebody with a comment that says Black folks, they're taking prisoners to Salvador or something like that and other places. And then we're highly incarcerated and they're pushing us to other countries too. And I don't even want to get to start talking about the mass incarceration issue, Constance, because it's so painful. The system, you get these people in jail and in prison, you don't know where they are. They've been transferred. Then you're not people serving life sentences. That's the prison system. And I just want
that's that prison system. And then the guy, the Garcia guy that they said was innocent, they just indicted him.
What?
After they indicted him because they don't want to bring him back.
That's crazy.
Knowing he's not a criminal, knowing that tattoo was fake.
But you know what else too? There is no righteousness behind their behavior. There was a guy
that for nobody though. That's my mind. We shouldn't even want that for nobody. And even though we are the biggest victims of the system, you think about that because remember, like I said earlier, the biggest threat to America is Negro unity, is the Black Messiah. That's what J. Edgar Hoover said. The biggest threat to America is the Black Messiah, Negro unity. So what happens? They kill all of our leaders. After they kill all of our leaders, you have COINTELPRO, right? So they kill all of our leaders off. Then they put drugs in our community. And it's well documented that the CIA put drugs in our community. A white man named Gary Webb, who worked for the San Jose Mercury News, he did an investigative piece, and he found that the CIA was responsible for putting drugs in the community. So and then they were going and putting guns. They were just dropping off guns on the streets so that we can kill each other. And so then what did they do? They incarcerate us in mass numbers. So a lot of our Black men are now incarcerated because you put drugs in the community. Somebody said they didn't make them pick it up. Yeah, but when you take all of the economies out of a community, when you have no jobs, what are the people who are there supposed to do? They're trying to get money by any means possible. So that's what when you had, let's even go back to after Reconstruction, and when you had the Great Migration, you also had white flight, which then caused urban decay, because when white people left these neighborhoods, also the stores closed, the grocery store closed, all the economies left with it. And so now you develop these ghettos. So now you have these ghettos. So now you have poverty on a grand scale. People can't eat, they starving. Then you go drop off drugs in their community. And now you can tell me I can make money by selling drugs. I'm not knowing that this is killing my people. And now wars happen, this is all cause and effect by them making sure that they destroy our communities. Because when we're thriving, when you have your Black Wall Streets, when you have your other areas, when you have your Rosewoods that happen all over the country, what do? They bomb them, they burn them down, they put them underwater, they put freeways through them. They do all the things that they can to destroy us. And then they try to say, oh, we just sitting around worried about white people all the time. No, y'all sitting around worried about us, because all we want to do is live our lives. We want to be free. We want to live our best lives, but you guys don't want that. So then how do you think the KKK was formed? So that they can come and disrupt our lives. So all of this stuff is by design. So and unification amongst Black people is the thing that they hate, because they know our power. They think we're going to do what they did to us, and we're not going to do it. But they know that the power that Black people have. And if we understood our power, man, oh man, we will be powerful.
Yeah, I agree. We need a new deal. The Black folks need a new deal, very simply. The new deal, just so you all know, the Social Security Act gave retirement benefits and supported for the disabled. The SEC regulated the stock market to stop fraud. FDIC protected the banks. WPA employed over 8 million people in public works. White folks had full access to all of that after the Great Depression. We are a group of people who went through, after slavery, there was no deal. Most people who, after they was like, all right, y'all, slavery over, go somewhere, figure out something.
By the bootstraps.
Most people went back to their slave owners, the colonizer's house, and said, can we work here? Mm-hmm. This is what most people said. Can we just work here? Now, here's the thing. So many people be like, I can never be a slave. How many of you clocking in right now? Just make. How many of you clocking in right now? Just enough for electricity. How many of you clocking in right now? Just enough for food. Come on, man. Stop talking to me like these people. I'm just saying, like, it gets me upset that we try to normalize and act like we can see life through the colonizer's eyes. How are you thinking that you and Donald Trump can have an agreement? How do you think that you and Joe Biden can sit down and be on one accord? This is what bothers me about having an understanding of self. I don't give a damn what they say. You already know. They say that the life is you got the angel on one arm and you got the devil on another arm. But one thing for sure is the devil. God is not. I don't think God is negotiating with the devil. We're not coming. You know what I'm saying?
You're so right about that, Madam Prez, because Black people are so caught up in politics and parties. That's not our fight. When we talk about the Democrats do this that's not our fight, Black people. We should not be on one side or the other. You should not be supporting Donald Trump or Joe Biden. You should be supporting Black people. Be one, Black first. That's all you need to be worried about. You shouldn't be I remember, y'all. I was at it was my friend's 50th birthday party some years back. We were on this beautiful island. His rich girlfriend had flew us all out to this island. We were in this mansion, and we were amongst all of these moneyed Black people. And we were having, this was around 2020, 2021. We were having this political discussion on Black America. And they were talking about how they were upset with Ice Cube because Ice Cube had the plan for Black America, and he gave it to Trump and not to Biden. And Biden, and at that time, Biden said, "I don't got time. We'll look at it later." Scat. And Trump sat down with him and had a conversation with him. And they were having the same rhetoric conversation that most of Black America was having at that time. That he shouldn't have sat down. And I was so pissed. And I was like, y'all some self-hating ass Negroes. Mm-hmm. Because this man is trying to help you Black motherfuckers. And y'all over here talking about he didn't go to Dubai. Y'all so caught up in political parties, sheeple, worried about the wrong damn thing when you should be worried about Black first. How do we move our agenda forward? Why are you worried about what them at the end of the day, just like you said, and I love Obama, because I love Obama, but at the end of the day, he did nothing for Black people, specifically, like he did specifically for other people. Mm-hmm. So we can't depend on anybody in politics to do anything. So for y'all, ride or die, even Boyce, and you know how him and D.L. Hughley got into it. D.L. Hughley was mad at him. He's like, that's just like both of us, why are we fighting for the same slave master? Like, I'm not even tripping like that. You really gonna die on your sword for these white people who don't give a fuck about y'all. Like, really? Yeah. So we have to get out of that politics shit. Like, that's not our fight.
You know what? We have always been in the middle. This is the thing about the position of Black folks in America, is that it's kind of crazy because either there's this African, he wrote a book and it was really good. I can't remember his name because I read this book a long time ago, but he talks about how you're either submitting to the supremacy or rebelling against it. There is no in between. You're either in full submission to the supremacy or you're constantly rebelling against it. And that is crazy because I always said that Black folks owe Ice Cube an apology. They did this man wrong. Now, some people say, well, Ice Cube was doing this for his own particulars. He had a business that he wanted to push forward and he was using, I don't give a damn. White folks got businesses they want to push forward too. The same business he want to push forward. Kim Kardashian signed a deal with the NBA to be the apparel for the NBA. You all talk about generational wealth. That's how generational wealth happens. When business to business decides that we're going to work together. We're going to contract you to be the brand for hundreds of thousands of NBA players, all the leagues in the NBA. She got a check coming in, coming from the NBA because they're going to use her underwear and apparel for that. So it's like, why can't Ice Cube have some of that? You don't want him to because he Black? You don't want him to because he married a Black woman? You don't want him to
we always count a Black person's pockets. A Black person's pockets is always counted. Trust.
That's what I'm saying. He married a Black woman. He got Black children. And the man, he pretty much, he come from LA. He came from nothing. He stayed consistent. You ain't catch him at no Diddy party, let nobody playing his ass, nothing like that. This is the staple. What is the problem? And he still has a true identity to self.
Right.
People was giving him a hard time. Women were upset. How you mad that a Black man is willing to
plan for Black America?
How you mad that he's willing to have a conversation on your behalf, which you can't get no Black celebrity to do for you? Right. He publicly said, I'll talk to the president, whoever it will be, whoever will have a meeting for me. I'll leverage my celebrity. This is how LeBron James' best friends became wealthy. He leveraged his celebrity. He leveraged his power. They did not have any experience. They were all coming out of high school. But LeBron James said, you know what? If you want to talk to me, if you want me to sign the deal, well, this is my account manager. this was the Heat Maverick is going to do this. The other one, I can't remember his name right now, but he married Adele.
Yeah.
He says he's going to handle this. Meanwhile, this is how they got in. They're all multimillionaires, but LeBron James had to leverage his celebrity for them to get in. They still in today.
Right.
Still in 20 years later. He leveraged his celebrity. So the thing is, Black folks, you want to leverage when Black folks don't get elected for an Oscar. Oscar's so white. When Black folks don't get a Grammy, the Grammys is racist. Why are you concerned about the celebrity if they're not concerned about you?
That part.
So you should be behind the people that's behind you. But that's that brainwashing mentality that, you got from the 1800s when they had you more concerned about Master's house. You don't have to do that anymore. I don't know if you need to know, but you don't have to be so concerned about the colonizer's house to the capacity that you abandon your own. You don't have to be concerned about the colonizer's children to the point where you abandon your own.
Yep. So at the end of the day, for you, for everybody else, where do you stand? You sitting this one out? You protesting?
I'm on the side of righteousness, but I ain't protesting with nobody who's gonna be calling me the N-word upside the head. That's just number one. So
it's so normal in California. I'm saying all the kids, they say, I don't even know if they do it in another, I don't.
I'm like, what in the world?
It's very normal in California that these kids call, and they don't give a damn. There's no respect. At least when I was younger, they wouldn't do it around us. But now, there's no respect. They don't give a fuck. And there's a lot of anti-Black rhetoric going on out there. And it's unfortunate. But, I'm still on the side of righteousness too. I think there's a right way to do it. I don't think there should be any a blanket deportation where you just deporting everybody. Because, I spoke at MelaninCon last month. I spoke after Jamal Bryant. How they gonna have me speaking after Jamal Bryant? But I held shit down. But one of the things that Jamal Bryant said was, he said, don't think that this mass deportation only affects Hispanic. He said like 50 or 150 people from his church, from Haiti, from other countries, were sitting in cells in Guantanamo Bay, wherever they are. They're sitting in cells right now. So it's not just affecting Hispanic people. It's affecting Black people also from the Caribbean. What's your final word? Your final thought?
Well, my final thoughts are, I would never forget one time I was, I want to go to church on y'all. But one time I was reaching out to a friend, and I remember God saying, what are you going to provide? What kind of assistance that you're going to provide to this person that I can't provide? So when the Creator stepped in and basically said, you have nothing that you can offer people that I can't offer them. That's just number one. So guess what? I put it in God's hands. I let go. I ain't got nothing to offer. I don't got to reach out to this person. I don't have to do this. But my final thoughts is always going to be with Black people, which is number one, do not go out these doors thinking that what's outside the house matters more than what's going on inside of the house. The first war, the first place that you are the president of is your residence. You are the president of your home. And in fact, I wrote an ebook, how to survive a Trump America. You can go to my website right now and download that ebook at www.madampresident.com with a Z, which is how to survive a Trump America. A Trump America is going to be a very aggressive, this place where ignorance is empowered. Like you saw the woman telling somebody, oh, you're going to get killed. I can get the KKK. You're going to be dealing with that for the next 3 years. It's going to be a lot of that. These stories are not going to let up. This man does not have the emotional and the mental capacity or the intellectual ability to run a country in a normal space. So guess what? America gonna get crazy and crazy and more crazy.
Yeah. Listen, We didn't vote. You know what my hope is, because we all know that the election was rigged. We all know that Elon Musk rigged it, because they said it. They laughing about it in our faces. So we know that. So my hope is that they go ahead and do their investigation. They find out that it was rigged, and all the shit just gets repealed, because it shouldn't count. All the laws that he put in place, everything that the January 6th rioters that go back to prison, all that shit happens. But you know what? Here's my final thought on whether we should be on the side of our Hispanic brothers and sisters. This is what I think.
I will vote for Donald Trump.